Well, folks, the day has finally come, and it's the end of an era. Graham's house has a buyer, and here in a few minutes, it's no longer going to be in the family. It's going to be passed on to another owner. So I figured we'd take one last look at it, just to remember Graham and her house. And I'm probably going to get real emotional on camera. I'll try not to, but it's going to be really difficult for me. So anyway, this was the den. There was a chair right there that Graham would sit in, and then there was a television set right here, and this is where she spent most of her time when she wasn't outside in the yard doing yard work. She would sit right there, and then obviously when company was over, we'd all sit in here. And then in here was the spare bedroom. Whenever I would stay over once in a red moon, I would sleep in here. And then in here was like a storage room. This was the guest washroom with a shower, water closet, the sink, and then an old straw sign exhaust fan. And then this real pretty picture right here. This is the laundry. This is where Graham did her laundry at. The cabinets above to store like the laundry detergent and whatnot. This was the kitchen. The sink, and then this really cool Magic Chef dual oven from 1975 in my favorite color, avocado green. It hasn't worked in years. I don't know what's wrong with it. I never tried to mess with it. I was always real intimidated. I was afraid I was going to burn the house down. And here's the dining room. And here's this lovely old chandelier. I wish I could take this with me, but I can't. We ate many meals underneath that chandelier right here. And then this was the living room. For years, my Pencrest console stereo sat right there. And then I'd sit on the couch, or me and Graham would sit at the dining room table and play records on it while we'd eat or whatever. Here's the thermostat for the old furnace. This house has an old Miller Home furnace. I don't know who made the Miller Home brand, but you can see right there it is. I'll turn it sideways for a moment so you can see it. Okay. This thing used to make a beautiful noise when it ran, but when the OG Westinghouse motor burned out and we put in a replacement, it never worked the same and it didn't sound the same, and I really got depressed by that. But and then in here was Graham's bedroom. That was her bed that she slept on. And then this was her old touch lamp. And then here's the master bathroom. That was her closet where she kept all her clothes. The bathtub. Something I've always really liked about this house, I love the recessed lighting up above the vanity and how it's like in that, like that right there. I've always loved that. It's really cool. See? Just basic little light fixtures up in these egg crate slats. Another Strawson fan. The bearings need help though. This isn't a shower, by the way. This is just a bathtub. I don't know why it wasn't a shower, but yeah, this was Graham's old house that she bought new in 1975. I'm just making pictures while I'm recording so I can kill two cats with one gun. Picture of the washroom. And then let's switch all the lights off. Switch this light off, and then the two in here. Oh, one thing I used to love is watching the amber glow of the window in this door. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but, well, there you go, you can kind of see it. I used to love watching the sun set through this window. It was so beautiful. And this is it, folks. I'm surrendering my key. The key that I had on my keychain since 2017. Well, this is it. This is the last time I'll ever see this house again. Make sure I got my keys. Yep. And there it is. Goodbye. Goodbye, house. The memories will live on.